Hi guys, hope you're all well. Yeah, usual thing, last sort of minute checks, just clicking a few buttons, basically making sure I've got it all right, and then we can crack on and see how far we can get with this. So I can see we've got Thomas in the chat, Andre's there, Master of the Forge, Melvin and a Spliff a Day. Good to have you guys. I'm sure there's a few more lurking around, which is cool. Yeah, I think everything seems to be a-okay. Just going to turn the music down a tad, as it's a little loud. Right, that seems better. Right, yeah, we shall crack on. Right, let's get rid of that one, and you can see me, and you can see my desk. So yeah, evening guys. Yeah, if anyone obviously has been watching the last few streams or knows what I'm doing, I've made quite a few panels recently, and I've had a little change of plan. This is quite often what happens when I'm doing something. I've made lots of panels which I will be using for the main builds or the whole build, but for the initial box and base and things, I thought I would build the panels almost as kind of one. So rather than doing obviously like each one separately and then gluing them together, the actual base panel, basically this is the size of the base panel. So it's going to be 4 of these, and I'm going to put the sprue goo in amongst these, but like overlap it. Only because obviously as much as the glue is going to be good, using the sprue goo is even better. Obviously, because once that obviously goes hardened again with the acetone evaporating, obviously it goes back to being like a hard plastic. So I thought rather than having 4 at the bottom and just gluing them, I'm going to have the 4 at the bottom, but they are going to be sprue gooed together as well, basically. So yeah, because obviously I say I do need lots of panels. So obviously the bit I'm building, for anyone who's new, obviously I'm having to go building the TauManta, which is obviously this chap. Quite a size beast, obviously a lot bigger than the drawing. Obviously it's not the scale. So yeah, it's going to be quite big. So I'm concentrating first of all on like the centre part of it, and then I'm going to do the 2 wings separately. So obviously with that centre bit, again, whenever I make something, especially of a large size, in my head I try and break it down into smaller bits, just because it makes it more manageable to obviously build it for starters. And I think it's easier on the brain if you're thinking about one part rather than trying to think of this as a whole. Because thinking of this as a whole, it would just be like too daunting. There's just too much going on. There's lots of bits. Some bits are quite intricate. Obviously, it's a very large build. So yeah, breaking it down to smaller bits makes it easier for the brain to obviously appreciate what you're doing and to get in and do it. And when I build it, I like to break it down, and then you work on that bit, then you work on the next bit, you put it together, and so on. So it's kind of like a jigsaw puzzle, but you're making the pieces for the jigsaw puzzle. So the initial bit I'm doing, say basically when I build these kind of things, I like to build boxes and, well, a framework basically. But boxes are obviously good because then you can make a box, glue it to another box, and make lots of boxes into the framework. So I'm basically building, of this bit I'm building, I'm starting with this back bit, because it's this back bit that's obviously on the floor. So it's basically that bit there upwards is the kind of bit I'm going to be sort of starting to build today. We'll see how far I get on with it. As we all know, doesn't matter how much I want to get done, when I'm working and live streaming, I do tend to chat and waffle quite a lot than if I was just working on this on my own. So yeah, so basically I'm sort of doing a rectangular panel at the bottom, but obviously it does have bits that then sort of like go and slope up. So that's why I've roughly worked out what this bottom sort of flat panel is, and it's pretty much this. So this is basically going to be the bit that's always going to be touching the desk, the floor, or whatever. Because I haven't thought about how I'm going to mount this yet. I don't think I'm going to mount it. I think it literally is just going to be like placed on the floor. So this is like the bottom bit that's going to be on the floor all the time. Then you've got the bit at the front that's going to like go upwards and out. And then from here it kind of goes up, and then it goes out to the wings. So even though this doesn't look like much, this is the bit that'll be touching the floor. There's a lot more on it that sort of like slopes up before you get to the front and before you get to the wings. So yeah, it's going to be quite a large size. I think basically the overall sort of dimensions that I could find online for this It's 630 millimeters from front to back, and it's 860 millimeters from tip of wing to other tip of wing. So yeah, it's a reasonable size. I think if I moved my arty station units out of the way, it should fit on my desk. Just. But again, that's why I'm building it in three parts, because each part I can sort of build on my desk, and then I'll assemble it in one go, obviously right at the end, basically. So yeah, so let's have a quick look, see if anyone else has popped on. Get any questions, guys, because when I do start building this, obviously I look up the comments, but sometimes I miss some comments, especially if they're obviously aimed at me. If you have a question, if you put at miniature hobbyist, all as like one sort of word, at miniature hobbyist, then on my screen it highlights it in orange. I can see it really easily, and then I know you're asking me a question and not just having some sort of like general chit chat with everyone else, which is awesome. So yeah, say Melvin, Smith of Day, Alan Forbes, Twisted Monkeys here, Lazarus here, Lurking Wild Cooking Tea. Yeah, again, I've had something to eat. I've got some Kit Kats beside me, so I'm not going to go hungry, and I'm not going to sort of start whinging that people are talking about food and I haven't got any. Nerd Games, evening to you. First time, are you catching the live stream? Nice background noise to listen to while you play. Cool. You're glad I make it with sprues? Yeah, it's got to be with sprues. If you're gonna make something big and Warhammer, then yeah, I think I'm always gonna go with like sprues and stuff. Melvin, am I gonna do the inside? Unfortunately not. Two reasons why I won't do the inside of this. One, obviously time. I mean, as it is, it's gonna take me a good 3-4 weeks to build this. To do the inside, and easily another 3-4 weeks. Plus, if I do the inside, I've then got to make the walls that go around it really, really thick and strong to support the weight of everything. Whereas, say, this is going to be the base, but I'm going to have obviously the bits at the front and a bit going down the centre. And obviously, if I was to make this look like the real one, I couldn't have that bit going down the centre, because obviously you're meant to be able to see inside and put vehicles and things inside, as well as obviously the top bit that comes off. Again, to try and do the top bit with all those little seats, again, it would just take so long to do that. And say, as it is, it's going to take a good 3-4 weeks to build this as a big whole unit. And I say, I want to make it really sort of strong and sturdy. And for that reason, I can't really do insides. But yeah. Prescott, am I going to use contrast paints to paint that grey thing? No, with the painting of this, I'm going to keep it really simple. And I'm going to obviously do a black primer over the whole thing, just because I like things obviously done in black, and then probably dry brush some silver. I might even dry brush copper, I'm not sure, but it's pretty much going to be a black silvery sort of thing. I might do some sort of highlights on it in a few areas, but that'll be probably orange, because I like orange and black. I think could work quite well. So that's kind of, say, with the painting, it will be quite simple. And yeah, I think to try and paint it, other than painting it with a spray, would just take too long. And obviously the paints, it will just use a ton of paint. Whereas, say, the old tin of black spray should be enough to cover the whole of this. And then dry brushing obviously doesn't use a lot of paint, because obviously you're dry brushing. So yeah, to do that, like say silver all over, or maybe copper. I'm not sure, because I like copper. Say orange is my favourite colour. So orange, copper, I really kind of like. But yeah, so again, throughout this, I will be filming, and every now and then I will, basically, what I've just said then, I will say it again for anyone else who joins in, say, half an hour or an hour's time. So say this stream is going to be going for 2 hours. I'm going to go up till 8 o'clock, mainly because obviously at 8 o'clock, I've got my new video coming out tonight. So the plan is that obviously come 8 o'clock, everyone that's watching the stream heads over to the premiere of the video, and then we can carry on chatting there for, I think the video's about 15 minutes, I think. Not 100% sure, but yeah, about 15 minutes long. So, as I say, I've got obviously some panels already made up. These are the ones that are going to go around the side. And I've got some panels behind me, which are going to be the ones that are going to go on the top. So basically, it's going to be like a rectangular box. It's going to be obviously a floor on it, sides going all the way around, sides going across the middle, and then bits on the top. And then that's going to be like the core part of the ship. And then from that, I'll build other bits. Say there's bits at the front that go at an angle, bits at the side that go at an angle, and then that'll be like the front sort of, well, the centre part. So because this bit here well, yeah, from there to there, basically overhangs. So that's why this bit's got to be nice and strong and relatively heavy, because I don't want it to like topple forward. So that's why I am making this quite thick, and that's why I'm making, rather than using the thin panels, I'm using obviously nice thicker panels. And as well as obviously these being the panels, they've obviously got the structure and framework already in them. Yeah, so obviously the panels, anyone who didn't see before, oh, I've got the ones here. Yeah, panels, basically it's obviously getting a sprue and then filling the gaps in with the goo sprue, or sprue goo even, and then obviously when it dries, obviously you get, these are great for bases, if you want to do a base for some sort of terrain, because you kind of get two out of one each of these. So on the top, it kind of like looks a bit nurgly and sort of, well, ooey gooey and futuristic-y. Well, I don't know, like someone's skin or something. But obviously you turn it over and it's a bit more, I don't know, sort of Space Marines, Necromunda sort of style base. So it's almost like two bases in one, depending on which way you obviously then work with it. But say these are going to use for panels just because they are nice and thick, nice and sturdy, and they'll stop this whole thing from warping and bending and looking pretty nasty, really. It would be cool as an Orc Manta. Yeah, although say when I do the outer shell of all of this, I am going to go through and smooth it all out. So I'm going to fill in all the gaps with the goo sprue and then sand it all down. So yeah, it won't look like my normal builds, which obviously are Orc kind of related. The build will look nice and sleek and smooth and, well, and shiny, really. Twisted Monkey, new video, what's it about? You have to watch it. Although I've just put a link. I know if I put another link. So yeah, if you haven't had a notification yet, again, YouTube doesn't seem to always like notifying people. This is the link for it. And basically, it's kind of like a recap of everything I've done with sprues over the last year. As in, not necessarily all the things I've made. I show a couple of things I've made, but basically my thinking behind when I go to make something, how I go about making something. As in, like using the sprues as a framework, using the goo sprue to make panels, different kind of panels, and in fact you can put the sprue goo in silicone rubber molds, so you can cast stuff with it. So yeah, it's kind of all kinds of bits and pieces about sprues, and I've gone on to answer a lot of questions regarding sprue goo. So yeah, it's worth seeing. So it's about 14 minutes long, and it's going to come on straight after I've done this. So the first thing I need to do is say these need to be nice and flat to lay on the greaseproof paper, so I can then put the sprue goo in between the panels. So it's just a case of going underneath. So obviously there's quite a few bits and pieces. Again, I don't know how you can pick them up on the camera. There's a few pieces that are obviously like protrude underneath. So I just need to cut them off, which is why I've got the, this is like my nibbly knobbly box, even though some of these bits are obviously rather large. This stuff basically goes in my jars of acetone to turn into sprue goo, basically. So yeah, I do need to remember every now and then to film, because I haven't done a whole lot of filming for this yet. And so I think this is probably going to be two videos, I think I might do one video solely for this centre bit, and then a second video for the wings and putting it all together. Again, we'll see how it goes. So I don't like doing videos that are like longer than 20 minutes. 20 minutes is like the maximum I really want to do for a video. And I kind of think this might go over that, so that's why I'd probably break it down into two videos, basically. Right, so I've shown a bit of the front. It can just... yeah, that's fine. So obviously every now and then I will go quiet, because that's me concentrating, or trying to anyway. That bit shot right off. fine for the filming. So I only film small bits. 2 reasons really. One, you obviously don't want to watch me cutting loads of bits off in the final video. And 2, as good as having this arm thing is that comes does the filming, it does get in my way and makes it difficult for me to see what I'm doing sometimes. So yes, that's kind of why that's now moved out of the way. Yeah, a few bits twanged right off. Again, I'll probably step on them or find them later. That's generally what happens. Lady Sophine, hello. How are you? So yeah, just basically for these 4 panels, I just need to chop off all the nibbly knobbly bits that are underneath, just so they will then lay nice and flat. So what we'll do, we'll move those out of the way for the moment. As I've done that little bit of filming. Yeah, so guys, I hope you can all obviously watch the video that's coming out at 8 o'clock. So I'll just chuck the link up. I will put the link up every now and then. I mean, if you can quickly pop over there and give it a thumbs up already, that's awesome. And obviously, if you haven't done so already, if you can give this one a thumbs up, that would be awesome. So always a case of you go around, you think you've done all the bits that are protruding, and then you find several more that you've missed. So this is the first time I'm using or made these kind of panels to build something. But say it's purely because obviously this build is so big. To make this how I made the Orc Stomper, it just wouldn't be very strong at all. And again, that's something I go through in the video that's coming out later tonight. I talk about how I normally build things. Again, breaking it down, building like a framework, putting panels on it, and just sort of building up as I go along. And again, I do sort of mention in the video later that while that works for a lot of things, basically anything that's kind of like, I don't know, A4 size, maybe A3 size, possibly, but anything bigger than that, then it does need these new sort of style walls that I'm doing basically. And again, all these little bits that get cut off, they obviously all go in there, and I say that's the box that I put into my that's a bit of a big one there. Into my jars of acetone, and these little bits are going to sacrifice themselves and be turned into sprue goo at a later date. Right, best bet to see if it's level, put it down. Yeah, that one seems fine, so that can go over there. I say we just do that on these other ones. Sophie, doing okay, bit blur from last night. Side note, I have some new CSM to build up, so that also means sprues to make something with. Awesome. Do you know what you're going to make with the sprues though? That's the question. So obviously the simplest thing to make with sprues is just sort of scatter terrain really, isn't it? So yeah, use the sprues, make up some framework, especially if you do the old sprue goo. Make some panels, chuck some panels onto the framework, and you've got instant buildings of whatever kind you want. And obviously the great thing is it doesn't cost you anything, well apart from obviously the cost of acetone, which isn't too bad. Yes, it's 8 o'clock, guys. 8 o'clock UK time. Obviously, my video is going live to be a premiere, and obviously that's when I'll be stopping this stream. Well, to go over there and start chatting over there. So yeah, so I am actually going to be assembling the sort of bottom part of this as a box. So say in my head I've kind of broken this down into lots of like stages, and obviously the first one is making this main box at the bottom, because it's going to be the biggest box, and I say because it is this kind of like bottom panel, it needs to be relatively heavy, so when I build this bit at the front that's obviously off the ground, that bit doesn't obviously pull this bit up, but obviously by the size of it, this bit I'm building is longer than the other bit, so there should be more weight in the back end, basically. Sophie, no specific plans, but your vids have certainly provided some inspiration. Awesome. So you've watched a lot of the older ones where I've built smaller things, rather than obviously building like an Orc Stomper or the Battle Wagon. A lot of the smaller builds are obviously a lot more, well, smaller builds and easier to do, really. And obviously you need less sprues. It's a centre bit I need to try. Does that one have a centre bit? Doesn't seem too bad, that one. Let's just... Easiest way of getting rid of that centre circle, just chop off bits near it. Just because it's sticking up quite high. Like this one. Is this one sticking up high? Doesn't feel like it. No, that one's fine. Right, I think that one's fine. Yeah, that's fine. Basically, again, when I put these down as well, I put a little bit of glue in a few corners just to keep it down. Because as you'll see in a minute, when I put the sprue glue on it, I don't really want the glue like seeping under. I want to keep these kind of like level and flat. So these are about 4mm sort of in thickness, which is quite a nice sort of size for the framework. Sakudo, am I doing the same size as the original Manta from Forge World? Yes, that is my plan. I mean, if anyone can tell me the exact dimensions, because say I've looked online, there's very few drawings that have, well, there's no drawings really that have any sort of dimensions. So I'm basically going from the dimensions that, what's the guy that's just got it? The does a lot of painting, and he's just got one of these to build. I can't think of his name, but he said in one of his videos the width and depth of this thing. So it's by his dimensions that I'm going by. Squidmar, one of those two. Yeah, he said the dimensions are, say, front to back 630, and from the tip of one wing to the other wing is 860. So they're the dimensions that I'm sort of working to. Just to say, Google's great for finding pictures, but when you want to find sort of reference sizes, it's very difficult. And even going to a lot of forums, I just couldn't seem to find anyone who'd sort of like given loads of the dimensions of it. Broken Barb, just had to get on, say wow, good show mate, I'm looking forward to seeing this take shape. Me too. Again, it's like most things that I build that are obviously big, the first quite a few hours, nothing really sort of looks like it's happening. But it's, again, what I always say, it's always the prep work. And sometimes some things require more prep. Plus, it's the case of you can't rush the prep work either. Because if you rush the prep work and don't do it properly, then the rest of it isn't really going to work out very well. Or it's going to take longer because you're going to have to keep correcting yourself or correcting things. So it's worth spending more time on doing all this at the beginning, just because then everything else then flows really nice. Right, well that one, oh yeah, I cut that one earlier because it was the wrong size. Right, let's have a little drink. Squidmar, yeah. Yes, it was on his channel, and he was the one who said what the dimensions, like the overall dimensions are. Which is why I say basically I've, I mean, this was one of the best sort of technical kind of drawings I could find of it, rather than a photo of it. So what I've done is I've imported the picture as is into Photoshop, made it obviously the right size, sort of wing to wing and the depth, and then basically I put like a grid over this image in Photoshop, and that's how I'm been able to work out all the other dimensions really. So again, this is going to be roughly to scale, or as best a scale as it can be, when I haven't got one of these in here to actually like measure from. So yeah, some bits might be off, I'm not sure, because basically it all depends on how well this drawing was drawn. Because this is the drawing that I'm going by. I've got lots of other sort of like reference pictures of a built one, but obviously none of them I'll be able to get dimensions of, whereas this is a nice obviously flat drawing from above, flat drawing from the side, and yeah, so like the dimensions of like the I don't know, the exhaust engine thingy, that's what I'm going to be getting from Photoshop by just calculating how big it is according to the scale that I've got, which shouldn't be too bad. So it should look like it. It just might be a few millimeters out here and there, basically. Yeah, Unbroken's currently painting a Necron Ghost arc right now. Needed something to listen to. Awesome. Yeah, but say you have me in your background and you're kind of in my background, which is why every now and then I like to ask what you guys are doing, just because well, I'm nosy, and so you guys get to know what I'm doing. So it's only right I get to know what you're doing. Right, so again, I need to remember to film bits of this because obviously this is what is going to be going in the final video. Again, this is me having my concentration face on. That's fine for building, filming even. So again, everyone who has just joined, I've made lots of panels up to build this with, but I'm currently building the bottom sort of plate panel of the thing. I thought rather than sort of doing them separately, I'm kind of gluing them together, and when I infill them with the sprue goo, I'm going to infill, but also have the sprue goo go over all the joins. And the reason for that is obviously the sprue goo is obviously a great way of bonding something to something else, because obviously once it dries, it turns back into plastic. So obviously as good as super glue is, the sprue goo is even better. Obviously a much stronger kind of bond. So yeah, so that's why I'm building these 4 panels as sort of one, as this is going to be the base, the bottom bit. So this is going to be the bit that's always going to be touching the floor once this thing's made. So this is the bit that I'll say again. It was thinking about this bit which made me use these as panels, because obviously they are thicker, and the fact that I'm going to have them going all the way like front, middle, and back, and obviously all around the side, and then another layer over the top. And again, any gaps in between where the sort of pieces kind of like sort of meet up, any kind of gaps in the top or the bottom, anywhere along there, I'm going to fill it in with sprue goo. Again, because obviously it's a great filler, and obviously it's plastic, so when it dries, it'll be drying as a hard plastic basically. So I say everything I'm thinking about doing with this, it's all about making sure it is nice and strong and sturdy. So the last thing I'd want to do is build all this, put it together, and then as soon as you pick it up, it just falls apart. Yeah, because that might make me a bit sad if that happened. I can actually line this up with the lines on my board. Cool. So again, just gluing little corners. It's a greaseproof paper. When I come to pull it off, it'll pull off nice and easy. It might rip like small little bits, but that's fine. Although this one looks like it's actually the same length. I'm sure when I measured them earlier they were. Why does that look like it's not? What's that one? 20 and a half. What is this? It's a tiny bit smaller. Right, well, I'm glad I was going by the lines on here, because obviously that would have been, well, wouldn't have been disastrous, because I say it doesn't matter a whole lot. Right, we'll use that one instead, so this can come off. Literally, it's like 2mm shorter, which in the whole grand scheme of things won't make a lot of odds. In my mind, however, because I know it's that little bit shorter, it will play on my mind. And again, even when this thing's built, because a lot of this bit I'm building now, you won't see. I say, because this is going to be that front, this is going to have a big bit on it sloping up. So you're not going to see any of the box from the front. The back's probably going to have some extra bits put on it, so you're not going to see whatever panels are at the back. The side panels you're definitely not going to see, because they're going to have a slope going up and then to the wings. So again, none of what I'm building now, you're actually going to see any of this in the end thing, because this is going to be almost inside, apart from the bottom. This will be the bottom, but obviously you have to lift it up to see the bottom. So again, what I'm saying is, even though this is 2mm out, it's enough that in my brain I'll be thinking it's 2mm out. And for the sake of me just grabbing another one of these, cutting off, well, loads of nibbly knobbly bits, yeah, I would rather do that, because I say it will play on my mind all the time. And then I'll be thinking, why didn't I just spend that extra few minutes changing it? It's sometimes I kind of annoy myself. It's like, well, why bother? Why do it? But I know why I'm doing it. Someone has made a proxy 3D model for the TauManta, but last I heard they said they haven't been able to compare its size to the actual Tau. Oh, okay. Yeah, well, I say I'm going by what Squidmar said, the overall size of it, and then I'm just working this, I say, to that drawing I've got. So I say, even if it's a few millimeters out, then I'm never actually going to be sitting here with another one to like really compare it to. So yeah, it's going to be as close as, really. Victor Jacobson, greetings from Paris. Love your videos. Keep up the great work. Cheers, Victor. Cheers, buddy. Romario, I'm afraid for the calendar, its days are numbered. Man, that's so sad, it's funny. Yes, guys, don't forget there's my video's coming out later tonight in, well, in about an hour and a half. My video will be out. To say, I'm going to be live streaming till 8 o'clock. That's when my video's out. And obviously I'll be going from here to the video, because obviously it's going to be a live premiere. So it'd be great if you can all go over there. And again, if you can give this video a thumbs up and go and give that video a thumbs up, that would be awesome. And then when the video does come out over there, obviously drop in comments, likes, and all that kind of stuff is really cool. Manowar has been a member for 10 months. Awesome. Blimey, it's been that long since I did the thingy. Again, apologies, because I set that thing up and I've not really sort of put a whole lot into it, have I? I need to see what's in it. God, it's crazy. 10 months ago. I think it's because last year was kind of a bit of a blur for everyone, wasn't it, really? It felt like it went slow at the time, but then when you look back on it, because we didn't obviously do a lot, it feels like it went really quick, because there's not really a lot, not a lot to show for last year, I don't think. Well, there's something I am working on, which I thought I had around here somewhere. Although my kids come over and they nab stuff. Oh, something I am working on is some, I don't know, commemorative coins kind of thing. Again, I don't know how well this screen picks it up, but obviously it's screen with my face on, miniature hobbyist around the bottom, and this one says I love nibbly knobbly bits. But because I'm getting nearer 50k in subs, I'm going to make a special one for 50k subs. I'm not sure how I'm going to sell them, what I'm going to do, but I've seen some cool, I haven't got a picture, but I've seen some cool things that you can keep coins in. It's like a plastic base it's got a small frame and then clear plastic sheets, and you put that in between, and obviously it wedges it, so it holds it on a base, but like off the ground a little bit. I don't know if I'm explaining it very well. But yeah, so you get the coin and in this little base, and it'll sort of sit there. So yes, I could be making some coins soon for when I hit 50k, but also I might be making some like this one, which say I love nibbly knobbly bits, just as a bit of fun. There we go. J Crod 7776. Cheers for the donation. Love the content. Awesome. Cheers, buddy. I'm glad you like what I do. So yeah, the video that's coming out later today is kind of a recap of things that I do with sprues. Whether it's obviously using sprues as they are, doing the sprue goo, combination of the two, making panels, and well, yeah, basically everything I've kind of learned and done and experimented with sprues over the last year is kind of in the video that's coming out at 8 o'clock. But yeah, cheers again, J Crod. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. I mean, pretty much at the moment, anything I get is going to go into me buying some more acetone. Just because obviously I don't normally use much acetone, but the size of this and the fact there's going to be a lot of goo, sprue goo used in it, yeah, I will need to buy obviously more acetone. So yeah, cheers for that. Any donations? Say that's my my acetone fund. I think I probably picked the worst sprue here, as in it's just got, there's loads of these little things, and so the problem is they're little, but they're enough to keep it off the ground, which isn't going to be good. In fact, I mean, clients have looked for another one actually. So that one's hardly got any. Is that the right size? Yeah, we're going to go with that one, because that one's, I've done loads, but it's still got hundreds on there. Where'd that come from? Oh, that's that problem. So if nothing else, I've got loads more little nibbly knobbly bits. But what do you guys think of my dice tray? Has anyone looked at it? Anyone bought one? Anyone want to buy one? Yeah, what about all the dice as well? You see, oh, yeah, because I only showed a few of the dice in the actual the video. I think the photo shows more dice. But yeah, so I love Easy Roller Dice, because obviously they send me free dice. I mean, some of these ones, again, I don't know how well it's picking up on there, but it's like really sort of sparkly, shiny sort of ones. Obviously, again, my favourites still are the old sort of coppery kind of ones. Although I say these ones are my favourite ones to actually use. These are like obviously the green on a, it's hard to say if it's like the black or the shiny metal, but either way the numbers show up really well on those. Oh, these ones are like stone dice, but it's a stone like crystal ones. Anyway, I digress. Let's get rid of that. But yes, if you need a dice tray, go and check it out. Link in the description, or even if you buy dice there, I've got that discount code, 15% off. Obviously your order really. Let's say Easy Roller Dice. Go and check out, if you like dice like me, go check out the dice, because they do so many types. Yeah, definitely a lot less bits at the bottom of this one. Obviously, the only downside is there's not many branches in the middle, but that's fine. Also, that'll just be filled with loads of goo that will turn back into plastic. Where'd that bit go? Oh, no. Rightio. You have no use for a dice tray, but it looks nice and large. Well, so they sent me that dice tray quite some time ago. I have used it a little bit. I've used it when I played Yahtzee with the kids. But obviously, say soon I will be playing D&D, which I can't wait for. And I will definitely be taking that along to the games with me. match it up with the lines on the mat. Cool. And this one is definitely the same size, which is cool. Could be interesting to see some sprue dice. But if you ever look back, again, one of my older videos, when I first started this channel, I had a go at making some dice. Purely by obviously getting some dice, making silicone molds of them, and then casting them in resin. It wasn't too bad, but it wasn't too good either. I think that was one of them videos where I showed probably more mistakes and more errors than more ones that went right, to be honest. But again, it was me just trying. Again, I like trying new things, so I thought I'd have a go at trying to make my own dice. But yeah, Ribonator. Well, that's the guy that I watched about 11 months ago. I thought, oh, I'll have a go at making my own dice. It makes it look easy. I mean, it's one of the things. It's easy if you've got all the right tools. You really need to have one of those. Is it compression chamber, vacuum chamber, to be able to suck out the air. If you haven't got one of them, then you're going to run into a lot of issues, which is what I did. So whenever I try to make the dice in the molds, you needed to be able to get all the air bubbles out, because any air bubbles in the dice obviously means when you roll it, well, you could make a cheating dice. You could make it so when you rolled it, you always get high numbers just by having the air in a certain place. So even though some of the dice came out well, you couldn't really use them because they always favoured certain numbers. Right, this one's looking too big. Have I got the wrong sprues again? That one's. Oh, is that just over? Oh, that's not too bad. Why does this one look like it's... So I'm just checking things for size, because again, some of these panels seem like they're not always exactly the same, basically. Would sprue dice be really off balance? Yeah, possibly. So that's why it's very difficult to make dice properly without, say, a vacuum chamber, because any little air holes in there left by obviously air or the acetone, when the acetone evaporates, that leaves little air pockets or gaps. So again, it would make the dice sort of cheat. Well, not necessarily cheat, because they could always work not in your favour. But yeah. Right, again, I don't know why this is like a little bit off, as in one edge is a bit longer, because I'm sure these are all the same. So that's the one that I took out. It's that one. Man, I'm going to get there in the end. Is that how I started? No. Right. As they say, third time lucky. But again, this is the kind of thing, whenever I am making things, obviously in the videos you see the final video, so you kind of see it as it goes. Obviously sometimes if I do something and it's a big fail, I leave that in, because obviously it's good to see the fail. Obviously what I'm doing now isn't a fail, it's just me picking up the wrong sprue and it's like millimetres out. So that's why these kind of things I won't film and won't keep it in. But in the final video you'll see me just put 4 panels down, move on to the next bit, and then the next bit, and so on. But obviously sometimes it doesn't go that way, as in this prime example. I've tried this as the 3rd panel now, because all the others are just being, say, 1 or 2 millimetre shorter on which direction, or even longer, and it just messes this up. And again, this is where I always sort of say it's not OCD, but this is where my needing it and wanting it to be like 100% perfect kind of like kicks in. And again, even though what I'm doing isn't going to be seen and could be packed out at the end, it's just that case of I'll know it's not quite right, and I won't be happy with it. But yeah, these kind of little bits you won't see in the end video. And again, the bit you see me of gluing this down is going to last like 2 seconds in the video, but in reality it's taken me half hour. Obviously chatting away as well always slows things down. But yeah, I hope you're all well. It's Friday evening, isn't it? See, I always get confused. Well, not confused, but because obviously my job, obviously a wedding photographer, I don't really sort of see work days and weekend. To me, just days are days. It's like tomorrow. I'm at a wedding tomorrow, videoing. So it's almost like saying tomorrow could be my Monday. So today could feel like a Sunday, but obviously it doesn't. So to me, just every day is a day. Especially when I'm still editing lots of weddings. Right, how are we doing? Oh, there's a couple more. Right, well hopefully this is third time lucky. I'll be able to put this down and it will be the right size. I'll be happy, and then we can start putting some side panels on. Oh no, I want to get the gooey stuff in this first, don't I? The answer is yes, you do. Cool, right. Do I think the panels could be shaped with a jigsaw, or would it snap off? Do you mean like the panels when they've got the goo in? I reckon once this was fully hard, if you had a nice thin blade in the jigsaw, I reckon you could go through that quite nicely. Yeah, but yeah, basically you'd need the blade that goes through plastic. Because obviously they are like super thin, so it would go through it rather than like pull it. Cause if obviously the thicker ones would basically like shake it and rip it up. Obviously if it ripped it up, then it would make a right old mess. But yeah, you get a thin plastic blade in the jigsaw, then yeah. So once this dries, it is like plastic, a sheet of plastic. So yeah, so it would cut like plastic basically. Upright, that burger wants you to makes you want a burger. Again, yeah, I'm glad I had something to eat before starting. Cause I've got a drink, I've got Kit Kat, that'll keep me going. Right. Finally, it's the right size, it all looks good, and I'm happy. William Chalky Boy is here. Hello. Hope you're well. Oh, that little dab in the middle. Right. So yeah, for anyone who's just joined, the bit I'm doing at the moment is basically the bottom base of the center sort of bit I'm making. So it kind of starts to give a rough idea of the size of this thing, as in this is like going to be the bottom panel that's always going to be on the ground. From the front of this is where it starts to slope up, go forward for the nose of the machine, and the sides again start to slope up sort of outwards, and then when it slopes up, then you've got the wing going out from there. So that's why this thing is quite wide. And so this is just going to be the base of like a box I'm going to put all around it. It's going to be like the base box for then I can start building obviously all the other bits coming off of it really. So again, whenever I'm building something, I always try and like work or think of it in a logical manner, and I break it down into steps kind of in my head. So as in I need to complete this step before I can go on to the next step and the next one and the next one. And that's why basically I'm starting with the centre column, and that's why the wings are going to be last. Because obviously I want to build this all up. I want to make it so there's probably going to be slots in the side. So when I build the wings, I can actually like slot them in, or slot a part in, and then obviously glue it all together so it will be nice and strong. So the idea is you can lift this thing up with the wings, and it won't break or buckle or bits fall off. Yeah, the Pauly principle. Again, the video that's coming out later on at 8 o'clock is going to answer what you just asked there. But yes, my normal panels, because they are, say I haven't got one here, my normal panels are like literally 1 to 2 millimeters thick. And they're great for obviously putting round some sort of, oh, brain's gone dead, like a cage or something. But again, because if it's small, it's fine. Like the Sprue Burger's got a framework inside that. The Orc Stomper's got a framework inside that. And then sprue panels around it. Because they're quite small, it's not too bad. But when you get something that is, say, literally about 3 feet wide, when you go to pick it up from the ends, having the framework and all those thin panels, it'll just bend and bow, and then obviously eventually snap. But obviously that's why these panels, because they are literally 4 or 5 millimeters thick, and not only that, but obviously the panel has got like the framework inside it, which makes these a whole lot stronger. Which is why I'm building it this way. We should say the first time I built something like this, again, that's why I like this project, because it is something different. I am building it differently, and say the end result is going to look nice and silky smooth, and not rust buckety looking, which is what most of my Orc builds are. Just getting hungry. So I'm going to do my Michael Jackson bit. Put one glove on. Because now what I'm going to do is basically get sprue goo, fill all the panels in. But like I was saying earlier, the other reason for putting all 4 of these panels down and then kind of doing them as one is because of the sprue goo, I'm going to have it overlapping all the joins. So when it does dry, it's going to make this like one big panel, just because it is going to be super strong. Well, I think what I'm going to do as well, I'm going to just put a little bit of glue down in between, just to keep them in place while all this is happening. Let's say it's going to be the sprue goo that's going to be the main sort of bonding glue that's going to keep it all together. Well, that's the plan. Again, because I've not made anything this big before, everything I'm doing, I'm kind of thinking this is the best way that I can make it. Let's hope, and fingers crossed, that this is a secure way of doing it, and it won't, say, fall apart when I go and pick it up for the first time. Just in case anyone didn't know, so there is a video coming out at 8 o'clock, and this is the link for it. Just in case YouTube didn't give you a notification, if you click on that link, it will take you to the video that's going to come out at 8 o'clock. It's a premiere. So say I'm going to be here till 8, and then go over there and well, chat over there basically. So again, I am obviously filming as I'm going with this, so I need to obviously remember every now and then that I am filming. And obviously do a bit of filming. Let's just put a bit of glue there. So yeah, so when I pull this off the greaseproof paper, literally it'll come off really well, apart from the few little bits I'm gluing. And basically all it does then is, like you can see on, maybe I see on there, it just pulls a bit of the greaseproof paper off. So some of the paper has got little holes in it, which is kind of fine. I'll still be able to use it for a bit longer. Oh, itchy nose. But I will eventually have to get some new greaseproof paper at some stage. Well, I've had this quite a while and I've used it quite a few times. And obviously the more you use it, it does start getting little cracks in it. And again, when you do the flat panels that you roll out, because there's sort of creases in the greaseproof paper, they do then go into the panels you roll out. So as much as you want to roll out the panel and make it look good, if the greaseproof paper is a bit wrinkly, it'll put wrinkles in your panels, basically. Right. So I've got a few jars of sprue goo. This is one of the older ones I've got. And again, in the video that comes out later, I do go through and mention that obviously these will last almost indefinitely. You can make these up, leave them in the cupboard. It's not like you have to use it within a few days or it goes off. So the longest I had one was 7 weeks. Obviously, as you can see, this one, the colour is really, really green. I mean, this is yeah, it's a bit difficult to get the light on it. But the green in this one is a lot lighter than the green in this. This green's almost like green, whereas the other one's more like a translucent green. And that's because this is one of the older jars I've had. And so literally all you do is you keep topping it up. You put more sprues in, more acetone, more sprues, more acetone, and it's like never ending. So I always have some on the go, as in, if I was to use this all up tonight, I would put loads more sprues in it tonight, just so that it's back in the cupboard and it's got sprue goo ready to go. Because obviously these lids are great, they're airtight lids, so no air's getting in. If no air's getting in, then the acetone, in theory, shouldn't evaporate, because obviously it evaporates when it's sort of in the air. So that's why these last for so long, and so there's no rush to use them, basically. Let's have that lower down so I can see what I'm doing. And yeah, it's just a case of scooping some out. So say this will probably be thicker, or a little bit thicker than my newer stuff. That's the only difference I find, is the consistency. It's still gooey, it's still sticky, but the newer ones, as in the ones that's got new acetone in it and a new bottle, they generally do seem to be a bit runnier. But that's kind of the only difference. Again, you still roll panels out of them exactly the same. They still look the same when you have rolled panels out. It's just when you first get them out of the bottle, it feels a bit firmer, and that's kind of it. And so it doesn't really matter that it feels firmer. It still does the same job. If anything, it's probably better that it's firmer. Yeah, the Mantas are crazy price. Yeah, you go on eBay, and for ones that are already made up and painted, I think typically they're about 1,300, which for a model just seems nuts. Although saying that, I used to obviously collect a lot of Lego, and some of the Lego sets are nuts. So say, yeah, I'm going to put obviously the oh, I forgot I was filming then. Yeah, the sprue goo goes right over everything, and so when it dries, it'll just be a lovely bond that will make this one flat panel nice and secure. Right, we can turn it off. So I almost kind of forgot that I was still recording then. How are we doing on time? 7 o'clock. Oh, that's good. So I better get this done. Get a few of the panels starting to go round it. Before heading over to the other video. And the other thing I mentioned in the video that's coming out later is the smell of acetone. And I get basically I've tried to answer some of the questions that get asked quite a lot in the video. And one of them is obviously the smell. Does my room stink of acetone? And the answer is no. Obviously when I took the lid off then, whiff of it, I could smell it. Put the lid back on, can't smell it anymore. Even though obviously there's acetone obviously in this, I can't smell it. I do have the windows open, I always have the windows open, so that obviously helps. But yeah, with acetone obviously it evaporates when it hits the air, so it's not like it's going to be sitting in the air for the next sort of like hours, because it's not. Yes, like I always say in all my videos and all this sort of stuff, the smell of glue, I find that to be very strong and overpowering. And sometimes I have glued or spent like half a day gluing loads of stuff together, and I've worn me mask for that, because the smell of the glue does seem to stick in the air. TauManta on eBay, 3,200. So that's just nuts. Whether or not it would sell for that is obviously another thing, but to even imagine putting it up there for that is just crazy. Hey, just imagine how much a one-off sprue would be. A one-off MANTA made of sprues would be. And I could sign it, and it'd be worth even less. Right, getting there. So this is quite a workout, but it's really weird. It's like the back of the shoulder is where it aches from the pushing it down. Yeah, quite bizarre. Alright, getting there. So yeah, hoping I've got enough sprue goo. So I did use some this morning making some, well, making them panels. So I've got a jar that's obviously got loads of sprues in it, but they're obviously not sprue goo yet because they've not dissolved. So I did them this morning, and yeah, when you watch the video later, I always sort of chuck this number 8 hours as being the number that it takes for the acetone to break down and dissolve the sprues, and I always say 8 hours for the goo to turn back into sprues, basically. So yeah, 8 hours seems to be like the magic number. But I do also mention that normally when I do things with the goo, I leave it overnight, just because then it saves you keep looking at it then. So yes, I put the sprues in the say of the jar. That's why I always do it at night time, just because then the next morning they are good to go. Right, the music's just stopped, so I just need to click a button to say that I am still here. Oh, pardon me, how rude. Video will play after. Okay, fair enough. The MANTA comes with 2,000 points of tower inside. Yeah, this one won't. But this one is made with love, if that helps. I can stick Dave the Lonely Orc in it. Like one big super panel. New game at 85. Had to click when I see this. Good luck. Hope it works. Me too. Yeah, in my head I can't see why this won't work. I say because I really am going to try and make the main structure of this really strong and sturdy. So yeah, so when you do pick it up, I say it's not gonna bend and fall to bits. And I say all this sprue goo will turn back into obviously lovely firm plastic. should have enough sprue glue, hopefully. Yeah, Dave the Orc killed all the towels, and now it's his. Yeah, don't mess with Dave the Lonely Orc. Right, so that's about as much I'm going to get out of this. So I may as well just. Oh, so this has got smaller. Yeah, so again in the video I say about cutting these bits up, and also the size of these that get cut up to is the size of the opening in the jar. Well, obviously this jar is a smaller opening than the other one. So these may or may not fit inside. Well, they fit in, but just a bit slower. Yeah, it's just a case of putting them in, giving it a good old push down. And then what I generally do is, obviously like now, oh, there's a bit of room. When you can't get any more in, obviously put the lid on, a bit of common sense. Put the lid on, but then in, obviously, what's the time now? Yeah, so in about 3 hours time, I'll come back to this, and obviously they would have started to dissolve, so there'll be a bit of a gap at the top, so I can put a few more sprues in, basically. Put that over there. Get the next jar. Oh, just squish this out. And what I'll do is I'll get the next one and I'll film a little bit more of me squishing the goo around. What made me pick the largest, heaviest, most expensive model Ford was ever made? A subscriber mentioned it in one of my videos. It was only about a week ago. A subscriber mentioned this TauManta. And I say, whenever someone mentions me to build something and I don't know what it is, obviously, first thing I'd say, as you can see, this stuff is really, say, gooey and runny compared to that last one, because this is like brand new acetone and obviously new jar. So as I say, it's a lot softer, whereas the other one had been sitting in my cupboard for a good few weeks and it's a bit firmer. But say, other than that, when you first get them out, that's the only difference. Yeah, so someone mentioned about it, so literally a week or so ago. I hadn't heard of whatever the vehicle was, went and had a little look, saw it, I thought, oh, that looks lovely. It looks really like a spaceship. I love spaceships. Yeah, it looks lovely, smooth, silk, and all the rest of it. So that's when I put the comment on my community tab on YouTube, saying if this comment gets 300 likes, I'll build one. And I think within about an hour, I'd had 200 likes on it. So I thought, oh, I better go and have a look, see sort of more of the thing, get a few like reference photos and all the rest of it. And it's when I was looking at the reference photos, was when I first saw, or the first time I'd seen, someone holding one of these. And I was like, oh wow, it's big. I mean, I thought it would be, I don't know, maybe like a couple of feet, the wings, and sort of like so big. Basically a size that would fit on my desk, take up most of it, but fit on here. But yeah, it's only when I saw the actual thing in someone's hands did I then sort of realise, wow, yeah, this is massive. This might not fit on my desk, certainly not in one piece. So yes, that's kind of why in my head I've broken this down and I'm doing it in sections. Yes, I think if I'd seen the guy holding it, I may or may not have put that comment out about me building it, just because obviously it's big. But yeah, then when I said I'm going to build it, it's like, well, I've said it, I'm going to build it. Everyone seems quite excited about it, so yeah, let's build it. Yes, I think it's got about 860 odd likes now, so it must be quite a popular thing. Presumably just because it is a big thing. Let's get another piece out that can be out there. Because like when you first get these out, they are very, as I can see, it's very sticky. But then within about sort of 30 seconds, a minute, it's not as sticky. and then obviously easier to push around. Oh yeah, I was going to film a bit, wasn't I? Right, so I've got a video coming out at 8 o'clock. It's a live premiere. There's a link to it. Obviously, if you can get that ready, so because at 8 o'clock I'm going to stop the stream and go over to obviously be on the live chat over there, basically. Magic Mindstorm, hello from California. Awesome, love the content. Cool, I love California. So, it must be lovely and sunny there. So I'm in the UK. It's 7:10 in the evening. Obviously pitch black outside. It's been dark for a little while. But yeah, I'm kind of thinking California right now. It's probably the weather's not too bad, and it's the afternoon. So yeah, lovely and sunny. I'm taking it. Let's see, where can I put this so I can use it? Sometimes filming does make things a bit difficult, but obviously you need to film it to make videos. Although, I must admit, it was the other one that I pushed out first, wasn't it? So that should be the one I'm using. So yeah, get the rest of this panel done, and then obviously I can start gluing and attaching some of the side panels. And again, they're going to be glued, but then I'm going to use some of the goo sprue, or sprue goo even, just to help attach them. Just because I say it does make for a good strong bond, and it's a great filler, so it will certainly fill any kind of gaps there might be. It's like making some sort of weird looking cake. Sprue cake. How many more panels until I start building? Well, I say this is kind of building, I guess. This is be the base panel. Obviously, I've got all the other panels are already done. That's going to go around the side. Obviously, some more panels over there. I just wanted the base panel, rather than making or getting 4 separate base panels and then gluing them together. It made more sense putting the 4 panels together already, and then basically putting the sprue goo, over all 4 of them. Just to say, it'll make for a stronger base then, because then in this base, once all this stuff dries, it will be just like one big base rather than 4 separate ones glued. So literally, as soon as I get the rest of this mushed out, then I can start getting some of the panels on, and depending on time, get the panels on, and then obviously the top sort of part of it as well. And then again, this is what I keep saying, this build, there's going to be a lot of gaps in between where I have to wait for things to fully dry. So once this has all dried, which would be like a good day or so, say I'm at a wedding tomorrow, so I won't be doing anything tomorrow. Sunday I think I'm going to have a rest. So I'll be back on this on Monday, probably live streaming on Monday, and that's when I'll be able to start adding like the slope at the front and start doing the front bit, which is obviously going to be overhang. But again, the front bit is going to be made from smaller sort of box-shaped bits and pieces. Basically, everything's going to have frames in it, or it's going to be made up of boxes to make up a frame. But yeah, just different size frames, really. Definitely got plenty of sprue goo. This is almost going to do this, I think. Perfect amount. Just going to get into the corner. Right, don't obviously want to go over the edge because the edge is going to have, say, these panels are going to butt up to the edge. Right. Yeah, some sort of weird kind of cake. Obviously a very thin, mushy cake. But yeah, there's one huge panel. Which is cool. Right, I'm going to give that a couple of minutes just to sort of settle. And we'll put a few bits in the bin, just because I like to keep it tidy. And yeah. Yeah, so basically I've got two sort of lengths panels. Although the one problem though, so when these panels first dry, like these ones, lovely smooth, lovely flat, awesome. The more they obviously dry out, because obviously the goo's kind of like sort of concentrating and getting smaller, it does start warping the panels. Obviously you can sort of manipulate them and get them back to being roughly how they should be. Obviously a bit of creaking and cracking going on. But yeah, so you can get them back to sort of being nice and flat. So I do have the concern, say for the first time I'm doing this kind of thing, that when it's all together and give it say 4 or 5 days when it's presumably fully sort of free of acetone and it's fully sort of clenched down, that this shape might buckle and bend. I say I've not done this kind of thing before, so I don't know, but time will tell. So what I might do is once this is all done, put it somewhere, and then again put some heavy books or something heavy on top of it, and maybe even to the sides, just so it doesn't have room to be able to like bow out or do stuff. But we'll see. Kevin Judge, cake made of sprues, indeed. Right, this glove's got a bit of a hole, so we'll get rid of that one. And I'll get another glove. I'm not sure I'm going to use another one or not, but. Got a few gloves. So yeah, the gloves that I use are nitrile ones. I have used ones that aren't nitrile, and basically the acetone just seems to eat the other ones. But yeah, these nitrile ones, it doesn't seem to, the acetone doesn't eat these, but sometimes when you first touch the sprue goo, when it's obviously really sticky, it'll stick to the glove, and if it sticks to something else, sometimes obviously it basically rips and pulls the gloves apart. But it's not the acetone that seems to melt these, which is good. Right, I think we can get rid of these actually, make a bit more room. We'll have that in there. Yeah, guys, if you haven't already, if you can give this video a like, that would be great. And I say I'll stick the link on again. Might have gone off. The link I've just put on is the link to my video that's coming out, say, in just over half an hour. If you can click on that and give that a like as well, that'd be awesome. And obviously drop a comment. Because obviously you can't drop comments on this video until it gets turned into a video, because obviously it's a live stream at the moment. But yeah, if you can leave comments as well, that'd be awesome, because say comments really do seem to help YouTube and its sort of algorithms, and then sort of showing more people my videos, basically. Is it possible to turn sprues into 3D printing filament? I kind of doubt that very much. At least I'm not sure how you'd make this into a thin, long sort of strand that you could wrap around something. So especially when you first get this goo out, it's so sticky, it'll just stick to everything, and obviously it sticks to itself. So yeah, I'm not too sure how you'd be able to yeah, make it into like a long, thin strand, basically. Alright, so to help me in the gluing of this next bit, I've got one of these like helping hand thingies. Unfortunately, I've lost one of my hands. So it's a helping hand rather than helping hands. So these are great because normally obviously you put it somewhere, it can just hold on to my board while obviously the glue's drying and I can go on and do the next bit. I've looked and looked and looked, can't find the other hand or arm or whatever you want to call it. Why I would have taken it off, I can't see why I'd taken it off. If I'd taken both off, then maybe, but just to take one off, obviously it doesn't really make sense. So I'm not too sure where my other hand has gone. Plus I did have an extension that went in there. So it was like super high. Well, I think I had 3 extensions. So it was obviously higher and could hold from above. And obviously looking at it now, I think it's not really going to work too well because it's not going to be... Well, I'll make it a bit longer. It's not going to be too... Oh no, it might be alright actually. Yeah, so the plan is just to be able to hold it in place wherever it may be. Just so obviously I've not got to keep holding it for the next hour. But so what I'm going to do first, I'm going to obviously put a bit of glue on the panels, stick them together, get some of the goo, and then obviously put it in the corner of where the 2 bits meet, just so I can run a line of the goo down there. Again, that'll fill in any gaps, and when it dries, it'll just make for a stronger bond than the glue itself, basically. Right, just gonna quickly check a couple of things. Cool. Yeah, so we don't really need to leave that too long because say that is literally going to take 7 hours before it's anywhere near this, and then maybe even a couple of days for it to be super done. But say it kind of gives an idea of the kind of size. If that's the small bit, and you've got a bit coming at the front and then going long, and I say the sides are going to go up at an angle either side. Go up, and then you're going to have the wings. So yeah, quite a size, and that's why I say what I'm going to do now is I've got basically 2 sort of size panels. These ones are going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, and then these ones are going to be like 2 at the front, 2 in the middle, and then 2 at the back, basically. And then again, obviously I'm going to get some more panels behind me, and they'll be the ones that go on the top. So it's not saying about this using up lots of panels. I say this is just like part of the carcass, and then I'm going to have more panels sort of on top and going forward to the front of the thing, basically. So yeah, it's huge. Right, let's see how am I going to film me doing this. So sometimes this is the hardest bit. Trying to work out how I can get the camera set up to film something, but that I can still do the something I need to do. I say as great as this thing is on a little arm, it can still get in my way if I'm trying to look somewhere, or it's set up so it won't really see it very well. And yeah, that's kind of the hardest thing sometimes, is getting it set up so it can actually see what I'm doing, or you can see what I'm doing. I need to make sure I get the right ones, because if I start gluing them and they're in the wrong place, they may or may not come off. Right, so they are the ones that go that way. Yeah, and they're the ones that go that way. Cool. Again, so talking about notes, but obviously this is the smoother side for the panel, and obviously the other side not so smooth. But obviously in this case, I'm having a smoother side facing inwards because it'd be a nicer bond to glue out. I'll show you this side. But obviously it's going to show the manky side on the outside of this box, which is obviously fine because you're not going to see that, because say from the bottom here you're going to have the panel going up, so this bit you're not going to see, which is why I don't mind obviously the manky bit kind of facing outwards. Right, I need my glue. I need this. And we need a film. Put it on the other side by the burger. Bill made a hand yesterday. Maybe you could use that. I didn't see it. Is that the one? Did he live stream doing that? Because I flicked over to his channel last night and he was doing a live stream, and I'd literally clicked on it, gone over, and within like 20 seconds everyone was saying bye, 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 bye. It's like, I missed it. Whatever he was doing, I missed it. The MANTA is very curvy. Will I sand it? Smooth it out? I will. Yes. I say basically most of this is going to be built up by making frameworks, panels, all the rest of it. There are some bits that are going to have the sprue goo all over it, like the burger. Obviously the burger's nice and round, or got round parts. So just like the burger's got round bits. Although with this I didn't actually sand this down. When I put the sprue goo on, I just sort of put it on and then like rounded it over my hand, and obviously it went into a nice round bit. But because obviously the MANTA's going to have, I need to get the same roundness on like different sides. I'll obviously do it as neat as I can by hand, and then once it is done, fully dried, again that's why it's going to take a long time. Once this is all done, I'm going to have to leave it a good 3-4 days, maybe even a week, and then I'm going to sand it within an inch of its life. It's going to get sanded so smooth, it's going to be untrue. I hope. That's my plan, basically. I say I've got lots of plans, but as I go through and make this, the plans will change and will adapt. Again, I've not made anything this size, so in my head I'm working to a plan, but when I get to certain stages I might find that it looks like it's not going to work, or I think there's something better, and if so then I change it. I change as I go along. So yeah, again that's why I love this kind of hobby, because even if you've got a plan, sometimes the plan doesn't work or you change your plan. It was last night's stream, was it? I say literally I clicked on it, and yeah, within 5-10 seconds of me clicking on it, everyone was saying bye bye. It's like, oh. Yeah. The term manky always makes you laugh. Tonkman, hello. Right, right. Again, I need to concentrate, because this is where I don't concentrate. I don't film. And as me saying, this video could be 2 videos, this build. It might only be 1 video because I keep forgetting to film bits. So I say, initially it's going to get some super glue, but it will get sprue goo as well. So we don't need to film me holding it for 5 minutes. Let's just check. Because obviously the only problem is, because I've done the goo over the whole of the centre, I can't see where the lines were in the centre, but I think that's, yeah, that feels good. Said the actress to the bishop. Right, so let's get me a little helping hand, and it can, ta-da, it's like magic, it really is. Well, I should have filmed that. I should have filmed the magic. So let's pretend I didn't do that. I'm still holding it, and I'm going to have this nice and high just because it's easier to put it there with one hand, and then we can film. And obviously in the video I can go, well, this is where I get magic hand. I put it like that and I go magic. Again, simple little things in life sometimes make me laugh, and that made me laugh. Right, well, I will have to keep the bottom actually. Right, I'm going to hold that for a few minutes just because this little corner bit keeps popping out. I don't know where it's going, but it's popping out. Right. Plus again, it gives me an excuse to... Problem is, once I start eating, that's it, I'm a grazer. I don't really eat big meals, but I do eat lots of small meals. Sprue goo engineer. Awesome. Cheers, Kevin. The sprue engineer. Tonkman, I like it. Sprue engineer. Yeah. That could be a new profession. Or maybe when I play D&D, my character can be the sprue engineer. because we worked on a name yesterday. For anyone who wasn't in yesterday's, was it yesterday? I lose track of days. I'm sure it was yesterday, wasn't it? We did a stream. And where is it? I've got it written down. Only because I've forgotten. Man, where's my name? It's Malleus Half-Sprue is the name of my cleric. So maybe his name could be Malleus Half-Sprue, and he's a Spruegineer. Whatever a Spruegineer might be in D&D. Dominic Sadler, what's the best for sticking panels together? Yeah, it kind of depends. If you shorten time, super glue. If you've got more time than you know what to do with, cement glue. Or do what I often do, a bit of both. Sometimes I squirt that on so I can like take my hand away. Then I squirt this on because obviously this dissolves plastic into plastic. But say, because what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to put the other panel on. I'm going to get some sprue glue, put my old glove back on, and then like put some sprue glue in the corner, and then obviously like finger it into the gap. So yeah, sorry, me just saying finger it is making me laugh now. So yes, it's going to get super glue and then get fingered with some sprue glue. Have I tried Super Glue Accelerator Game Changer? I haven't. I keep seeing people like put a bit of glue on and then give it a little swoosh with some ink, and obviously they take the hand away. It's like, oh, that's cool. Because again, because the super glue I've got, lovely and cheap, £3.20 for a 50-gram bottle, which is cheap. The only downside is it says on here it takes 5 to 15 seconds. I'm thinking more like depending on what you're actually gluing sometimes and the temperature. I say because I do have the windows open, it's generally cold in here, which seems to make it longer. For me, it's more probably like 10 to 20 seconds, sometimes longer. Baking powder. I've tried baking powder because I saw old Bill making stuff using that. Hate it because it gets on your hands. I don't like it. The smell. Again, you know what I was saying about the smell of the acetone being a real strong smell and it just lingered in the air. I found out with baking powder in the air, and in the end I couldn't use it because it was getting in my nose, in my eyes, and I thought it's disgusting. Yeah, Magic Mind Storm. Yeah, you got to finger the gap. Mind the gap, because it'll get fingered. Where am I going? Yeah. Andre's going to get his Sculpey. Well, he might be back by now because I've only just read his message. Yeah, I like Sculpey. Right, well, I'm sure I can let go of this because, well, I've got my helping hander for starters. So, we shall get to the other part. Let's see if we can let go of that. Can we let go? Bosh. And we're free. Because what we'll do is we'll get the other panel on. So I'm going to put the two panels on, then get the sprue glue, line a finger a line, whatever, and then put the other two panels on, do the same again, and then work my way around, get back to the beginning, hopefully they all line up nicely. And then I'm also going to put some of the panels, say, in the centre to go across, just because I want this box to be very, very sturdy. Say, because this is going to be the main sort of hub box of everything coming off of it. So again, when I pick the wing up this side, wing up that side, this is the bit that needs to be super strong so it doesn't cave in. I'm going to make sure when the wings are glued on, there's going to be like a big rod almost going through the wing into this, so the wing's going to be strong as well, basically. Yeah, Joker, like Joker says, people push the like button like crazy. Push it like you stole it. Don't quite know what that means, because if you stole it, you're not really going to push it because you're going to run off with it. But, I don't know. Alright. And again, we can run a little line of glue down there. And again, that's going to get some sprue glue on it as well. And again, let's get the old helping hand in, just because obviously that's what I pay him for. And there we go. Is that pretty flat? Yeah, it's pretty flat on the end. Cool. It's all going to plan at the moment, guys. Yeah, time will tell. So yeah, the other 2 panels this side, and then say 2, 2, 2, roof, done. I'm not going to get that all done obviously now because literally come 8 o'clock I'm stopping, and we're all going to go over and watch my premiere, aren't we, guys? This is yes is the answer, just in case anyone didn't know. TauManta, I want to build a sprue goo monster and call it the Spruegineer. Not if I beat you to it, because I like the word. That's a good word, Spruegineer. Yeah, maybe I need to build an orc out of sprue goo, and like give him some sort of like hammer and an anvil. Yeah, I kind of like that idea now. Actually, I do like drawing. I'm not very good at drawing. I'm good at copying. Give me some paper and something to copy. I'll draw it exactly the same. Give me a bit of paper and ask me to draw something. It'll look like a 5-year-old kid's drawn it. Well, yeah, did you not see my drawing of my Monster Bash thing? Right. So we'll give that a couple of minutes to dry. Yeah, my Monster Bash. Obviously, these were the images I got from Monster Bash from Miscast. Good old Trent at Miscast. So that's the images I got. This is my drawing. So like I say, if I was to copy something, I can copy it exactly. But give me a blank bit of paper and ask me to draw something, this is the kind of thing you get. You get something that a 5-year-old would be proud of. 53-year-old would be ashamed of, but a 5-year-old would be like, yeah, look what I've drawn, Daddy. So yeah, my drawing skills a bit. But no, I like the idea of making an orc holding a hammer at an anvil, and he can be called the Spruegineer. Aisha, evening, how are you? And then she put some long sprue twigs going diagonally to hold up the sides too. Oh, I see what you mean, like angle braces. Yeah. Yeah, I think because I'm going to literally have these sort of 1, 2, and obviously 3. I mean, yeah. Putting more angle braces in is no harm. I'm just not sure it needs it. Again, a lot of what I'm doing, fingers crossed, it's going to be secure enough without going even more secure. Right, I'm going to put a glove on. I'm going to get some sprue out, and I'm going to finger it. So yeah, always. No, I'm not. I've got to stop saying it. Right. So again, let's try and see how I'm going to get. Oh, can I let go of that? I should be able to let go of that. Right, let go of that. Right, let's move that over there. Oh, let's get them together though, because I want them to bond. Right. Aisha, you're well. Cool. Awesome. I say I'm only streaming till 8 tonight. Let's move that light in a bit. And then we're all going to go over to my premiere of my video, aren't we, guys? How many we got watching? 53 people. So that's a lovely start to go straight over to watch my premiere of my video at 8 o'clock. I will keep putting the link up just in case anyone misses it, and just in case YouTube isn't doing its job. Oh, I put it there, I didn't even put it in. Yeah, so that link that's just come up, guys, that's the link to my video that's coming out at 8 o'clock. And basically it's all about sprues. And basically everything I build, there's kind of like a little formula to it. It's not a very big formula. It's a break it down to small parts formula, build a frame for it, build some panels, put it together, and then you've got a sprue burger or a stomper or a battle wagon or whatever. So yeah, pretty simple formula, but it works. And I answer a few questions, like Q&A as well, about sprue goo, its life, the smell, and other bits and pieces, basically. Right, so we'll get some of this. Oh no, yeah, we use a spoon. Doesn't matter, it comes out quite a lot. We'll get that back on. Because say the only smell you get from that is when the lid's off. So when the lid's on, there is no smell. And then this is the fingering bit that I was talking about earlier, guys. So yeah, always wear gloves when you're fingering. And here we go. So say this will obviously be good because it will dry, well, like plastic. So it's another good kind of bonding way of putting panels together. Again, obviously I'm saying that, I am just making this all up as I go along because I've not made panels this way before, like this. So everything I'm doing and saying, even if it sounds like I'm saying something from experience, I've done it before, I haven't. Not this kind of way of panels. I've used this stuff as a filler, but I haven't really used this like I'm using it now to join bits together. But again, because I know this does dry back to being a plastic, it's got to be a good way of joining two bits of plastic together because it is a plastic. And I say this stuff is so sticky, it sticks anything to anything. So it sticks anything to anything and then it dries as hard as plastic. So it's all good. Right, what we'll do is I only need a little bit. We'll use my other tool. Don't need to film this. I'll say that. I mean, that really does just get a little bit out, so that's pretty pants, really. So we'll use a spoon. I'm trying to get too much because I don't need a whole lot. That can go there. It's time 22, nearly 1:45, so we've got about just over 15 minutes, and then we're all going over. Oh no, we've only gone down to 50 people now. I've lost 3 people. Is it because I was talking about fingering? Do you think? Do you think they got offended? Right. There. Oh, that should be as strong as a welding torch sort of join. Oh, I want to do some up the centre bit as well. Someone called Ian Wyatt is making an Orc Warlord Titan. So now that's the thing I originally said I was going to build when my patron, if my patron ever went up to 100 people, I said I was going to make a Warlord Titan. But it's really weird because the patrons, I mean, I don't get many, but they sort of come and go, and when they go, some new ones come. So I always seem to hover around the same amount of patrons. But yeah, I had always said if I get 100 patrons, I would make an Orc, well, a Warlord Titan. Are they Orc Warlord Titans? I thought the Warlord Titans were, oh no, I think it's like different. I'm thinking of the, oh, what are they? The Space Marines. What, don't they have a Titan? That's the Titan that I was going to make if I ever got 100 patrons. There's 11 people waiting on the premiere already. I think sometimes if you go there and you click on the reminder button, I think that adds you onto the people waiting, because then when you actually go to it, the number, whatever the number generally is, it generally drops by a few, because obviously they're not normally all there. There we go. So that's going to be a nice sort of thick, strong bond. Yes, I say I don't think I need to put little supports in, because just by putting that there quite thick is a good strong bond. The fact that one of these is going to go in the middle and either end, yeah, it should be pretty cool. Right, so this is my only concern though with these. When they first dry out, they are lovely and smooth and obviously nice and level. But then as the day goes on, so they've only just been sort of done early this morning, so they're just still drying a little bit. These were done a few days ago, and obviously the longer they've been done, the more they seem to warp. I mean, it's fairly easy to sort of like manipulate it back into being flat, but then obviously after a few days it might start warping again. So that's my only concern, that might happen. But I'm not going to know until a few days' time if it then happens or not. And I think they've all kind of warped to a similar sort of extent. This one's taken my eye. He can be the first. Is that the Kotzi? Hi there. I'm glad catching you live. I'm the one who was brought back into miniatures by your channel I told long ago. Oh, okay. Oh, cool. Well, it's good to have you back. Where'd you go? Anywhere nice? Right. So, yeah, again, it doesn't matter if the bad side is pointing outwards because this is going to have the slope at the front. And again, you're not going to see any of this. Let's try and move it nearer. I don't know why I'm trying to reach over the whole thing. I need that. Yeah. So my plan is to get as much done as I can just now. Then 8 o'clock, go and watch the live stream, and then I might do some more of this tonight. I'm not sure. So I've got a wedding tomorrow, so I don't have a late night. So I really fancy just having a bit of a chill in a minute. Right, that looks pretty cool. So we'll hang on to that for a second. Aisha, still here, just quiet. That's fine. You be as quiet as you want, Aisha. It's just good that you're there. Having me in your background, you in my background, and keeping my numbers up. So I'm just border on 50 people, which is cool. So yeah, guys, don't forget, 8 o'clock. We're all going to go to the premiere. There's no leaving. Well, there is leaving. You've got to leave this to go to the premiere. But yeah. Kevin, could you pin them under something heavy while they harden to prevent... I did. That's what I tried to do. As they say, when they first come out, they are lovely and smooth and flat. So what I did was I got a stack of these, put some acetone in between each layer just to make sure they wouldn't stick. And they shouldn't do, but you never know. And then I've got loads of D&D books. I bought a shed load, and I put them on top. So there's quite a lot of weight keeping them down. But then as soon as you take the books off, within 15 minutes, they started doing that. So these were under a book for 2 nights. Took the books out. They were pretty much flat. But within about 15-20 minutes, they started curling. So that is my only concern. If they've curled that much now, will they curl more? Or is that it? Because it doesn't look like they've curled any more since earlier. But again, because this is all new, I just don't know if that is the extent of the curling or if they will still continue to curl over the next sort of say 2-3 days. Yeah, time will tell. God, it keeps getting adverts now, whatever I'm listening to. Oh, 10-2. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some sprue goo out, finger these little bits, put the goo in between, and then tidy up, and then get ready to go. Any tips for making guns? Don't know. Well, I'm sure if I mentioned tips for making guns on here, I think the FBI might be knocking on my door in a minute. So no. Just like I've got no tips for making TNT either. And this is on Minecraft. I've been playing a lot of Minecraft recently with my son. I quite like it. Well, I go on Minecraft. I just like going mining. I don't know why. I end up going on there for like 2 hours. I'm just mining. Mining. The curves could use to your advantage. Maybe, but say, because this is the framework, I don't really want the framework curving. I really want the framework to be nice and straight and level. But say, once it's all in and glued together, this is where I'm hopeful that by putting it all together, it will then just keep that nice rigid shape because it is glued together. So it can't warp because of the fact that it's touching several other pieces and glued to several pieces. So, but as I keep saying, it's the first time I've done this. So it is a case of trial, error, see what happens, basically. Obviously, I always hope for the best, but appreciate that it may or may not come out that way. Right, yeah, that's fine to let go. So yeah, I'm going to get some sprue goo out, put some sprue goo in the corners, then have a tidy up, and then have a little wrap up at the end about what I've just done, and then we'll all go and watch my video. Right, so can go there, and we'll have a little bit in there. Right, oh, let's do this one first. Say putting the sprue goo in here and joining obviously like the panels up is almost like you're welding it, because as I say, it's a nice thick amount going in there, and once that does sort of the acetone evaporates, that is going to make a nice big solid chunk of plastic joining other bits of plastic. So I'm kind of pleased with how that's sort of coming out. Again, I don't know how well you can see that, but it's like a big lump of weld in there. But obviously sprue plastic weld. So yeah, so I'm going to do that for the moment because I want to get a little bit tidy, a little bit organised, and then say get ready to go and watch the premiere of my latest video. And obviously I need to advertise it and let, because YouTube doesn't always sort of tell people about my videos. That's why I do quite a lot of on forums and other places. Obviously I post comments and other stuff. But also obviously then let people know that I've got a video coming out and what it's about. So guys, everyone that's here, if you are able, I'll put the link in the description again. If there's anywhere you can share stuff on any kind of forums or Facebook groups, or share it with your nan, yeah, if there's anywhere you can share it, that's the link in the comments just now. Well, let's see, let's click on it because I hope it is. I keep putting it there. Oh, that's just something went wrong. Let's have a look. Where's... If I click that. Yeah, so the link is right. Oh no, I've lost my text now. Oh, it's over there. Let's pop out. Oh, let's stop that. Yeah, so that link I'll just put up, guys. If you can copy and paste that and stick it anywhere. Say if you've got Facebook, stick it on your Facebook. Just because, say, I really am aiming now to try and make this my full-time job next year. So I'm giving myself 12 months to obviously do lots more on this channel. I will be doing some sort of giveaways and bits and pieces a bit further down the line. But yeah, that's why I'm going to be doing more and more, obviously, live streams and a whole variety of different kind of videos, just to sort of obviously say make this channel grow, with the intentions of one day it being my my full-time job, which would just be amazing. Yeah. Any guys got any questions for the last sort of minute that we're here? I was kind of hoping I would have got more done, but the usual sort of thing. Whenever I do live streams, I always get less done than I first think. But I am pleased with what I've got and how it's looking. Now that's the main thing. I'm loving the fact of using the sprue goo as like welding between the bits of plastic, because I'm sure that will help again stop it from bowing and bending, because it is making it a much stronger bond basically. Right, let's just have a look to make sure I've got everything set up. Oh no, I clicked it twice. Oh, I've got rid of it now. So I'm talking to myself. Again, I have so many sort of not pop-ups, but so many things open on my screen. I sometimes lose the one I'm actually looking for because there's loads of other stuff there. But yeah, it's nuts. So yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed what I've done here. And I say, next time I'm going to do a live stream on Monday. I might do one Sunday, I'm not sure. It all depends what kind of a weekend I have and if I need to just chill and relax. But the next ones might be Monday, and I should have the other bits done. If I don't do them in a live stream, I'll get the other bits done anyway, just because then on Monday I can start adding the front of this, which will just be pretty cool, because obviously the front is at a nice sort of angle, and obviously there's a lot going on. And I'll also be building obviously all these other little components that go on it. So say initially it is a case of getting the bulk sort of shape blocks out, and then you add all the small little components that make it look, well, like a lovely looking spaceship actually. So yeah, I can't wait to sort of start doing more of the intricate smaller bits. But again, you have to work logically, and the first thing you need to do, build the main sort of framework of it, the carcass, before you can start doing more and more stuff. You right there, Steve, buddy? Hope you had a good day. As you can see, I've kind of done a bit, but not a whole lot. Basically, is working on a nice big base at the bottom, so it's like 4 panels in one. Sprue goo over the whole lot. A couple of panels up the side, again with sprue goo, filling in all the gaps, just so when that all dries, that should keep it lovely and strong. Obviously, got more panels to go along, and then a roof on. And yeah, so we're all just getting ready to pop over and watch my new video, which is coming out in 3 minutes. There's the link again, guys. So click on that, or get ready to click on that. Goodbye, TauManta, cool. And yeah, we'll go and watch the other video again, which is about sprues, funnily enough. Just because I've had a lot of I've had quite a lot of subscribers in the last 2 weeks. And again, you go on YouTube Analytics and you can sort of see what videos it is they kind of come from. So most of mine are from obviously sprue videos, whether they're the ones I've done in the last few weeks or some of my older sprue videos. And so some sprue videos show how I make sprue goo and talk about sprue goo, and some do and some don't. So that's why the video that's coming out in 2 minutes is basically like a roundup of my experience of sprue goo from the last year, how I go about making things, which is, like I've said just then, is basically making a structure or framework inside and then putting panels over it. And I do mention this build as in, rather than using small panels, I'm using these nice, obviously thicker panels, just because they are going to give it a lot more strength in something that is pretty big. Right, well, we've got 2 minutes left. So anyone got a last little question they want to ask before we sort of go? That Looney wasn't here. Again, I had a little look at Streamlabs, and every name he used was banned. But he was banned, but I don't know how he kept coming back if it was banned. So maybe he is banned now and he can't come on until he makes another 20 sort of stupid names, I guess. But I'm not too sure. It's time to sprue up for the next round. Yes, it is. Get your sprue suits at the ready, and we'll go and watch a video. Right, so again, I'm going to click the link one more time. There's the link, guys. So I am now going to go over to the video. So guys, everyone that's here, it says there's 46 people, 44, it's going to shoot down. Click on the link and I will chat with you over there. Okay? Cheers for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. I say it's starting to take shape. It's going to be slow going at the beginning, but once we get into this and we start doing all the other little bits, you'll appreciate that it's worth spending time doing this, because then everything else should go well, basically. So vector the tiles while they are soft and still in that form. Could I possibly roll texture pins? Yes. Again, watch the video. The video that's coming out in 1 minute. I show you that. I've not got it here. I've got a green stuff roller and I roll onto the panels and leave a print. Watch the video, Vector. So this video that's coming up is for you, because it shows you how to do it. TauManta, who is the loony? A guy last night, he had about 20 accounts, kept coming on and spamming stuff. Anyway, I'm going over there now, guys. Thanks a lot. I will see you over there any second now. If I can just quickly get them face covers up. So leave this one, guys. Leave, and go and click on the link. And I will see you there in a second.